A conveyancer is a legal professional who specializes in the transfer of property ownership from one party to another. The process of conveyancing involves many legal, administrative, and financial tasks that ensure the property transaction is legal, binding, and completed efficiently. Conveyancing is the legal process of transferring property ownership, whether it is land, buildings, or commercial premises, from one person or entity to another. This process includes several stages, from contract preparation to the final transfer of funds and property deeds. Core responsibilities of a conveyancer. The conveyancer's responsibilities can be divided into various stages, covering both the buyer's and seller's side of the transaction. 1. Pre-contract Stage A. Property searches. Local authority searches. Investigate any planning, building control, or environmental issues that might affect the property. Land registry searches. Confirm the legal ownership and boundaries of the property and identify any restrictions or rights of way. Drainage and water searches. Verify the property's water supply and drainage arrangements. Environmental searches. Assess risks such as flooding, ground contamination, and other environmental hazards. B. Drafting and reviewing contracts. Drafting contracts for sale. For sellers, prepare the contract detailing the terms and conditions of the sale. Reviewing draft contracts. For buyers, examine the contract prepared by the seller's conveyancer to ensure it meets legal requirements and protects the buyer's interests. C. Inquiries. Raising inquiries. For buyers, raise questions or enquiries about any issues identified during the searches or documented in the contract. Responding to inquiries. For sellers, provide accurate and timely responses to inquiries raised by the buyer's conveyancer. 2. Pre-completion stage. A. Mortgage and financial arrangements, liaising with mortgage lenders. Communicate with the buyer's mortgage lender to ensure that the mortgage offer is in place and the funds will be available for completion. Financial settlements. Prepare statements detailing the financial transactions, including deposit payments, stamp duty, fees, and other costs. B. Drafting transfer deeds. Preparing transfer deed. Draft the transfer deed, or TR1 in the UK, that legally transfers ownership of the property from seller to buyer. C. Finalizing contracts. Exchange of contracts. Organize the exchange of contracts, at which point the agreement becomes legally binding, and arrange the transfer of the buyer's deposit. 3. Completion Stage A. Funds, transfer receiving funds. Ensure that the full purchase price is transferred from the buyer or their mortgage lender to the seller's conveyancer. Paying expenses. Disburse funds to pay off any existing mortgages on the property, service providers, and any outstanding taxes or fees. B. Property registration land registry. Register the transfer of ownership with the land registry or relevant registry in other jurisdictions. The buyer's conveyancer typically handles this registration. Documentation. Ensure all relevant documentation, including the transfer deed, mortgage deed, and completion statement, is accurately filed and recorded. C. Post-completion services title. Deeds. Send the updated title deeds to the new owner or, if applicable, their mortgage lender. Stamp duty. Ensure stamp duty, if applicable, is paid to the tax authorities. Legal and administrative expertise conveyancers must possess a keen understanding of property law, contracts, and local regulations to navigate the intricacies of property transactions successfully. They must also be meticulous in their administrative tasks to minimize the risk of errors and delays. Additional services. A. Leasehold transactions. Review lease terms. Assess lease agreements to ensure they are fair and legally compliant. Service charges and ground rent. Verify any potential service charges and ground rent obligations attached to the property. B. Remortgaging. Title. Check. Perform a title check to ensure there are no legal obstacles to remortgaging. Liaise with lenders. Facilitate communication between the property owner and the new mortgage lender to manage the remortgaging process smoothly. C. Transfer of equity. Legal transfer. assist in the legal transfer of ownership, such as adding or removing someone from a property's title deeds, often relevant in cases of gifting property or divorce settlements.